Oh my, you guys are amazing. I'm gonna put that there. So, coming in today, or getting here today, being here today, I should say, is always a treat. Today I got to see something I hadn't seen before, and that was Joe and the Rockettes, right? Right? Like, that was great. Two beautiful ladies up here backing up Joe on the song. That was awesome. There's always something different here, and you know, I came into this facility walking in and not even knowing it, that there was a big struggle happening. And you had lost your reverend, and there was $74, I think, in the bank account. And there was a bunch of concern about whether or not this place would survive. And I saw that and said, I want this place to survive. After speaking here, after being here, after walking in and feeling the energy of the place, meeting this incredible congregation. And I was a little rude. I was a little bit of I said, you all need to sit down with me after this service. And we need to go in that room and we need to hash this out and we need to come with a vision for this group. And I am so honored and so pleased that that vision is still happening. It's still coming into fruition, empowering a place, I don't remember exactly, but where all are welcome and everyone is supported. That vision, it was, I know you said it was fun, it was hard.
Yeah, we worked at it.
It was hard being in that group, and certain people were upset about different things and what would happen and where you guys would go. And my heart is so happy coming into this place and seeing all of you here and knowing that this place is here and that this love that was that seed that was planted in that moment is still growing. I am so happy. And it's interesting, whenever Anne normally calls and says, hey, do you want to come and speak? And I always say yes. And it's interesting how the universe works because I needed to be here today. So I am just acknowledging how grateful I am for this place and for this center and for all of you. So thank you. Yeah, thank you for you. Applaud you. I mean, this is just remarkable. And you're growing. And there were like, I think 10 people, 12 people, you know? And look at you guys, you doubled in a pandemic. That's just phenomenal. So today's topic is how do you make your pancakes? And I wanted to talk about this. As I said, the universe speaks to me. And the universe called me through Anne, and I needed to understand this idea of how do I make my pancakes? And I know what's true for me is true for everybody, and it's not everybody, but true for all. And as we come out of this pandemic and the changes and the growth and the things that have come from this experience, there are opportunities. And many of us are feeling stuck. Many of us are feeling, well, what's next? Where do we go? So I wanted to ask you how you make your pancakes. And what I mean by that is whenever we feel stuck, whenever we feel trapped, we often play into this idea that I don't know what to do next. And I'm going to try and I want to emphasize that you do know what to do next. You may not know where you're going to go or what it's going to look like. But hopefully after today, you get to say, oh, I do know what to do next. So this topic came to me with a story that I was told about a woman who felt very trapped. She was financially strapped. She didn't have the money that she needed to support herself and her children. She was working too much. Her children were out of control because they weren't getting the parenting that they needed, the care that they needed. Life was at a low for her. There just wasn't enough as she perceived it in her life. She was lonely, she was divorced, she had no support emotionally. And one day somebody said to her, how do you make your pancakes? And she actually started to look at how trapped she felt in her life, as she didn't have a choice, how she was doing things. And she started to see, well, I do have a choice. It's kind of like Sisyphus having to roll the ball up the hill, the rock up the hill. What if there was a choice in how you did it? Maybe you still need to live that life. You need to go through the traumas, the human experience of life, rolling a rock up a hill, making pancakes for your children who are hungry. But what if you made those pancakes look like Mickey Mouse? What if you made those pancakes look like daisies? What if the pancakes were like rainbows instead of flat circles? And when we start to do that, something powerful happens in our awareness, in our consciousness, and in our brain, in the biology of our brain. We start to see that, wait a minute, I'm not trapped. I do have a choice. I have a way that I can, even with the responsibilities that I need to keep, I need to make my children breakfast, but I can do it from a place of creativity. And whenever we engage in creativity, our hearts open, our minds open. So even if it's something you have to do, whether it's rolling a rock up a hill, or whether it's making your children breakfast, what if you added creativity to that experience? When I used to live in LA, there was always traffic, and people would complain about all that traffic and all the stuff, the time that it took for them to get where they needed to go. And I said, what if at one moment you decided to listen to that little creative voice inside you, that voice of the divine, the voice of creativity itself? And as you're sitting in traffic, if that voice said, turn right, what it would be like just to follow that voice? You're still going to be in traffic, but you're going through traffic differently. And so I wonder if we can do things differently. One of the big things that I tend to work with my clients as a therapist is anxiety addictions. And anxiety addictions come when our brain gets hyper-focused on one thing. When we project something from the past into the future, and then we believe the story that we're telling ourselves. What if that story changed? What if just a little bit you turned right? What if you made your pancakes look like daisies? What that does is it offers an opportunity to the brain to be different. And you may not know where you're going to end up or where you're going to go. But the process of getting there, turn right, is going to be a lot more enjoyable. So today, as I was thinking, I'm always interactive. If those of you who've heard me before, we're going to do some stuff. But I also wanted to give you a little something. And today, I brought some packets. Anne, will you help me pass these out?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say pancakes.
Just I hope there's enough for everybody. If there's not, just grab one and hand them out. So these are seeds. These are seeds from my favorite pumpkin. And it's a beautiful, bright orange pumpkin, and it's bumpy. It looks like it has warts on it. It's not that smooth jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, but it's this pumpkin that looks like a moonscape. It's all bumpy, and I hope you can imagine that, right? It kind of goes like this. It's not a flat surface as you describe the layer of the pumpkin, but it's like a hilly, bumpy, wart-like pumpkin, which to me is the best pumpkin for Halloween. And I'm giving these to you because you have an opportunity to create. And I want you to take a moment, and I would love for you just to close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath and hold those pumpkin seeds in your hand. I want you to think about how you want to make your pancakes, turning right, how you're going to roll that rock up the hill. I want you to just take a moment and breathe. Whether it's your finances, that you're looking to create more zeros after that 1 or 9 or whatever it is, to go from 9 to 9,000. Whether it's your finances, or whether it's love, or whether it's career, or whether it's an artistic project, I want you to hold that vision in your mind's eye. Whether you know the details of it or not, hold the emotion that you would like to feel of that creative process. Maybe it's the freedom of having all those numbers in your bank account. Maybe it's the feeling in your body of moving effortlessly. I want you to know the feeling. And as you know the feeling, understand it with all the parts of your brain, the color of it, the temperature of it, the texture of it. Know the sound of your freedom, the feeling of the ease and the flow. Maybe the colors like the bright, warm sun and a cool breeze. And I want you to hold those experience in your mind, in your body, and I want you to let it flow through you into those seeds. And I want you to plant those seeds into this moment right now. That seed of consciousness, of creativity, that seed of this vision for yourself, for the center, for your health, for your prosperity, for your abundance. I want you to plant that seed in this moment right now. And then I want you just to let it go. I want you to let the angels, your guides, your spirit animals, whatever you understand, God itself, just say yes. Because that's what the divine does. The divine says yes to whatever you plant in consciousness, to whatever you say in the universe. The universe says yes. It is conspiring for you. And so as you plant that seed, I'm going to invite you to nurture it, to water it, to take care of it, to grow it in your consciousness, in your mind, in your thoughts, in your feelings. I'm inviting you to plant that seed in this moment now. And as you imbue that seed, as you hold it in your hands to your heart, wherever you are holding it, as you hold it now, I'm inviting you to take that home and to plant that seed, to put it in some soil, to nurture it, to water it, to bless it every day with your consciousness, to bless it every day with your awareness, to hold in your mind's eye that this seed is going to evolve into the coolest, most interesting, fun, beautiful orange pumpkin. Just as this seed is evolving in this moment right now, and as Ernest Holmes would say, it is already done. The door is already open. The consciousness already is. And just join me in sitting in a moment of silence to understand, to feel, to recognize this truth now. We are, I am, an expression of the divine. Like the wave is on the ocean, I can never be separated from the truth, from the divine. I may think I am at times, I may feel separate, but I am that wave, and the wave is never separate from the ocean. The wave comes from and always goes back into the ocean. That is this experience of life that I am having right now, that we are collectively breathing right now. And sometimes the wave can forget that it is the ocean. And I'm inviting you to remember. I'm inviting you to remember that as God is, you are. As God is perfect health, you are perfect health. As God is abundance, you are abundance. As God is creative source, you are a creative source. As God is love, you are love. As God is prosperous, you are prosperous. And to continue, because we have free will, to continue to align yourself with your truth, to call it up, to remember it, to nurture it. To nurture it in the planting of this seed in this moment right now, and when you go home and plant those seeds. To nurture it in the language you use, in the language you've used to grow this center, in the language you use to connect with, to align, to open up, to allow your prosperity. Sometimes we say that, oh, not too much. Or we think that we're not good enough or we're not worthy enough. And the truth is that is your own limitation. That is not God's limitation. And so I'm inviting you to open up to that truth. To love yourself so much that you let all of the goodness of the divine flow into you without restriction. To let it flow into you. To release any block that said, I'm not worthy. To just laugh at that limitation. To laugh and to love. To breathe and to be. And so as I take this into prayer, Father, Mother, God, Divine Pachamama, Creator of all things, as I know that what is true for the divine is true for me, as God is all that there is, and I am living, breathing in the consciousness of the divine in this moment right now. I declare that my truth is that abundance, is that prosperity. I declare that I plant this seed in this moment in the consciousness of my mind and the consciousness of the divine. And as God is prosperous, as God is love, as God is abundance, I am that now, and I release any thought that says contrary. I release any feeling of lack, of limitation, of guilt or shame. I step into the remembering that I am the wave and I am the ocean. I declare this as my truth now. And I am so grateful that I don't have to struggle. I am so grateful that I could release all that stress and that striving. I am so grateful that I can simply be. And that I could call this goodness into my life more and more every day in every way. I am so grateful. And I release these words knowing that they are already done, knowing the truth of this experience in my mind, in my heart, in my bones. I know this truth. I claim it. I am it. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.